My name is Mark Bonnick and I was fired by Arsenal Football Club for speaking up for Palestine. I've been at Arsenal since 2001-2002 season as a casual and ended up as a full-time kit man until 2024. So I did 22 years at Arsenal. I'd been speaking on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, which I'd been doing for years, since probably 2014 when I first opened up my Twitter account. Obviously it's been called anti-Semitic sometimes, and I swear, because I never was. A guy came on called Never Again, accused me of being a neo-Nazi, then found out where I worked, told everybody on the thread that I worked at Arsenal, and then there was a pile on me. It was cyberbullying. He told me what he was going to do. He was going to go to the FA, the police, the club, and tell them I was anti-Semitic, which he duly did. It got into all the papers, and he quite brazenly boasted about making me famous. The investigation found there was no anti-Semitism. They found that I'd gross misconduct. I'd brought the club into disrepute, basically being offensive and inflammatory. A lot of the people that suddenly became offended weren't offended by what I'd said or told me they were offended until they were told to be offended. I'm worried what people think of me. Do they think I'm some racist or anti-Semitic? And you know, you get banter from the boys on a build. I've had to go onto a building site, and as a labourer, I'm fortunate enough that a friend of mine has given me work, but I'm a little bit old to be labouring. I won't be able to keep this up. I could have worked till I'm 70 at Arsenal as a kit man, which I'd planned to do. Now, I'm obviously struggling work-wise as a labourer. Football-wise, I don't go as to many games as I used to. I've sort of fallen out of love with it a little bit because of what's gone on. I don't regret speaking out about Palestine. I've never regretted it. And I would, you know, I came off it to basically, I think, to protect Arsenal, to protect them from things, and it didn't work that way. The guy got it in the paper. I've struggled to see how Israel's still allowed to compete in international sport. We have South Africa that got kicked out through apartheid, yet Israel continues. Russia for illegally invading Ukraine, but it appears it's okay to invade your neighbours and steal their houses. I think not just Palestine, it was humanity to talk out when things are wrong. You've got to speak out. You have to speak out when things are wrong. You know, and it's, you know, silence. You know, people go, oh, everybody was silent over this. And then when you talk out, they don't want you to talk out. It's offensive to murder people. It's offensive to stab people. Apartheid's offensive. But, you know, we spoke out against South Africa. Why should we not speak out against Israel? I'm the youngest of 6 kids. I lived in a 3-bedroom council house. We were taught to stand up to bullies and look after the little people. I think this is where that comes from. I think standing up for Palestine is part of where it comes from. Don't like bullies. Don't like injustice. By taking Arsenal to court, I'd like to achieve, obviously, stability, recognition that they were wrong, the clearing of my name, and also the fact that other people will realise they can speak out, and Arsenal or the cyber bullies Never Again ain't going to bully them and will listen to what's said and then can make a fair and honest judgment on it. My message to Arsenal Football Club would be to the fans. It would be speak out. Arsenal want us to speak out about knife crime, kick it out, no more racism, but they don't want you to talk about Israel and what's going on there. Speak out.